Hello, welcome to Gareth Jones on Speed, or on this occasion, Gareth Jones on the Metro. I'm in Paris. Having been working in South Wales last night, I drove back from South Wales, got 2 hours sleep in my own bed, and then raced to St Pancras, jumped on the Eurostar, and fell asleep again. I found myself in Paris, which is good, because I'm trying to make my way to the Le Mans 24 Hours. Well, when you try and get to Le Mans via a different method that you normally use, things can be a little, let's say, experimental. As you know, I usually drive to Le Mans with Zog in an interesting car this year because I was working in South Wales. I'm doing the train thing. I made the transfer across Paris okay, got on a train at the correct station in Paris, which itself is an achievement. However, the train I got on to Le Mans is not an express service. There was no express service showing, so I just jumped on the first one to Le Mans. And it's going to take twice as long to get there as I was expecting. So my rendezvous with Zog just outside the circuit to drop my bags and then meet him in our tribune ain't going to happen because it's going to be tight. I'm hoping I'm actually going to get there for the start of the race. I'm not entirely certain if I will, because I'm only about halfway to Le Mans from Paris at the moment, and we should have arrived by now. It's going to be tight, but I suppose in many ways the race is on. Hooray! Good news! I've made it to the circuit. I got the tram from Le Mans, and despite being on what I thought was the busiest train in the universe from Paris to Le Mans, I was actually saving that until the tram. My gosh, that tram was hard going. Now, can I recommend travelling to Le Mans via train? Yes, but you might want to do it the day before the race. You can do it on the day, but you've got to get up in the middle of the night, which means you do the entire journey very short of sleep. And when you've got a 24-hour race to prepare for, you don't want to be exhausted before the start of it, really. But good news for me, slightly less good news for Zog. I've been communicating with him via text, and as far as I can tell, Zog is stuck in gridlock and cannot get to the circuit any quicker. Now, I've come out directly opposite my grandstand at Tête Rouge, but how I get there, I'm not entirely certain. I'm going to work it out. It's part of the voyage of discovery. I remember describing the Le Mans 24 Hours as a race for the drivers and a 24-hour hike for us in the crowd. So my hike begins. Hope I'm going the right way. Trying to remember where the underpass is. That will get me. I can see it. Okay. I have a plan. So, you know, the race is on, and I may well have won it if I get to the stand before Zog. I've beaten him, which is ridiculous considering he had a 2-day advantage over me and a nice Porsche. Alright, here we go. And the winner of the Le Mans 24-hour race to Le Mans this year was me. I made it. I'm in the tribune at Tête Rouge, which is a covered tribune, which is very good because it's a rather hot day here. It's an awful lot hotter than it appeared on television when I was watching practice the other day. And fair play to Zog, he has chosen, well, there wasn't much choice, he's the only ones available, but we got a great spot. I am right on Tête Rouge. To my right, I can see the Dunlop Bridge as the cars will come screaming towards me. And that lovely thing is, one of my favourite things about Le Mans is the Frenchness of the whole thing. I wasn't a great Francophile until I discovered endurance racing at Le Mans, and because they invented motor racing and they have the best race in the world, I have now a passion and a camaraderie with my French brothers across the channel. As I was walking in, they were playing La Marseillaise, and I don't know the words, but I hummed along as the entire crowd sang. I was unable to get my recorder out, probably just as well with my appalling humming, but short of a beer, something to eat and a couple of mates to hang out with, I'm at Le Mans on my own at the moment, and I hope Zog makes it through the gridlock before the start of the race. Oh, the tension. Those last two were two Toyotas followed by an Audi as the cars do the warm-up or the parade lap. Here comes one of the Rebellions. Oh, that Rebellion looks nice in that sort of chromed red. Another one of the Porsches. And the LMP2 cars, which now look great because they're not open anymore. They don't have to be open, they can be closed. There's a Murphy Prototypes car, or as my son Tycho thought he read in the Autosport Guide, the Murphy Potatoes car. No Irish stereotyping there, I can only apologise. So all the LMP2 cars are passed, and here is the first of the Nissans. That was that raspy sound at the end. Here's the second one. That's the number 23. And here's the third one. In the classic 1990 should have won it colours. There go the AF Corse Ferraris, the Astons, more Astons, a 911, and the rest of the GT field. I have to say, I do love the look of the Ferraris, the 458 Italias. And you know I adore the sound of those Corvettes rattling away. And there's the Viper with, I think, Jeroen Bleekemolen driving, who's XA1 GP, so I'll be watching that. Thank you. Merci, monsieur. My new friend, the fellow motorsport fans alongside me, found my pen on the floor. Merci encore. It's great, you know, broken English, broken French, but we're able to communicate at the base level. There go the rest of GTs. Some say that's where the real racing is. Truth is, the racing is right down the field at Le Mans. It's not like Formula One where it's a cert who's going to win. Although having said that, the nearest thing we've got is Audi's strength, although I'm not certain they could do it this year because the Porsches are quick and the Toyotas are reliable. But to win Le Mans you need strategy, you need speed, you need reliability and an awful lot of good luck. Let's hope Zog gets the luck in order to make it here on time. I'm going to tell him I'm here, he'll hate that. Wonderful. Everybody in the tribune stood up and started applauding as the cars came round on the final of the warm-up laps. I don't think I'm going to do one or two. We've got 7 minutes to get one lap in, I suppose, in that time. Not at racing speed. And then it's the beginning of the best race ever. Well, I made it to see it. I didn't think I was going to this year, so I'm particularly pleased to be here. I'm very glad to have you guys listening along.
Trying to watch the race, avoiding
By my watch, it is 10 seconds to the start of the race. We can't actually see the start here because that's the other side of the hill that the Dunlop Bridge straddles. But over the PA, I can hear also Sprach Zarathustra playing. On the TV screen, which is 4x3, curiously, not 16x9, directly opposite us on the other side of Tête Rouge here, I can see the cars lining up with the Porsche leading. We've got a green light. And there they go. You can hear the crowd roar. Everyone stands up. I'm going to see them brake over the hill underneath the bridge. That'll be the first glimpse I get of the car. I'm trying to glimpse between people's heads here. Here they come. That's the sound of LMP1. There's the LMP2. Here come the Nissan. The GTE. And the GTE. I don't know why. Actually, I do know why. But every time that race starts, I feel like crying. Ridiculous, really. I've spent far too much time thinking about this race, and when you get here, you allow yourself to go with the emotion. And I should point out that my man Neil Yarney is leading this race. But, you know, that's just one lap of, I don't know, how many laps do they do in 24 hours? Something like 200 or 300 laps. Well, an hour racing at Le Mans, only another 23 to go. We're in the first hour, a little bit of drama as the number 13 Rebellion Racing AR engine car came together with one of the Porsche 911 RSRs, which has caught fire and has gone off the track. There's oil and debris on the circuit, and I'm not sure if the Rebellion's still running. But how about that, eh? You know, this is a tough race. All the cars are behind the safety cars they come past now. It's a tough race and it's a cruel race. You can spend millions preparing for this and go out in the first hour. Oh, it's tough. It's another safety car period, as we are now 3 hours into the 24 hours of Le Mans 2015, and it's Zog's Porsche, the number 17, that is leading at the moment. And I'm very pleased to say that Zog finally made it to the circuit. Hey, Z.
Hey.
How are you?
All right. Very happy to be here.
Less stressed than you would have been about 3 hours ago. 2 hours ago.
Less stressed than I was 10 minutes before the start, and half an hour before the start, and an hour before the start, and 2 hours before the start. all of which we spent in gridlock trying to get to the parking spot in Parking Rouge, which very cleverly I'd booked, and we figured, we'll take the car rather than the shuttle bus. This is a smarter move. It was a smarter move.
Yeah. This is a function of camping off circuit, isn't it? In the past, we've always camped Porsche curves or somewhere within the reach of the circuit.
Yep,
you can walk to the track and not miss any action. If we're camping as we are this year, some 12 kilometres away?
It's a bit more than that. It's about a 25-minute drive.
Yeah. Then you're going to get caught in the 250,000 people who are trying to get into the race.
Well, I don't know. I can't believe it's been that bad every year. It took us so long to drive, to get so little distance from the Carrefour pretty close to the circuit to here. We were in a queue of traffic where no one was moving, and it's one of those things where, you turn your engine off and you wait for 10 minutes, and then 10 minutes later the car in front of you moves 5 yards, so you start your engine and move 5 yards. And then after half an hour of that, you think, this is pointless, we've got to try something else, so you do a U-turn. You follow the signs for parking blanc and bleu because you think maybe you might be moving a little bit quicker and you'll be able to do a sneaky little redirect at the last minute. And that's moving just as slowly. I don't know, it'd be interesting to know just how slow and difficult that's been in previous years. I think it has been, for some reason, worse than in previous years. I can't believe it's been that bad every year.
Well, I remember driving in last year, and we arrived on the Thursday, and it was dreadful on the Thursday, the last couple of miles. And I remember when we were trying to buy the tickets for this is the last Tribune that had any seats available. So yeah. I think it is sold out this year. Is that a function of Nissan being here, do you think? Another manufacturer, a whole other set of fans?
I suspect, that's got to help. Also, a better prospect of Porsche winning. There's a sense that the Audi dominance isn't as formidable as it has been in previous years. I suspect that's probably attracted more fans this year. Who knows?
You got a new fan with you this year, Stevie.
Yeah, Stevie's joined us this year. I've been on him for a while to make the trip, and he's been keen, but it's...
Your first Le Mans, Stevie. First impressions, what's your takeaway from this? What are the first things that you will tell people when you go back? Is it the scale? Is it the sound? Is it the traffic?
Is it the fact that you missed the start?
Missing the start was obviously the funniest part so far.
Good attitude.
The sound is spectacular, just spectacular, and the variations in sound. There is many different sounds. Every engine has got a different kind of note to it.
Yeah. Who are you backing for the win?
Nissan.
Oh, hey, a bold choice. Any particular one or any Nissan?
The red one.
Yeah. I've tried to put money on this. I've tried to get a bet going here, but I can't persuade him for some reason. I can't think why. No idea.
It's a good-looking thing, isn't it? It actually looks better on circuit than in the photograph side. It seems quite dinky, quite small.
Yeah, it's a good-looking car, and it's good to have a different look because there's a certain look to the Audis and the Porsches and the Toyotas, although they are different. There's a family resemblance there, similar DNA. The Nissan is a different order, would you say, if you're doing, taxonomy, your classification of species?
Yeah. It is a different
it's a different
genus.
order, and it's a shame they haven't got the car running a little bit better, but fingers crossed, let's hope they make it to the end and have a good race.
Well, they have not disappointed in their first year. It's very easy to come here and not even have all your cars start the race, and they're running reasonably competitively.
Which, odd enough, is what happened to Nissan. Only 2 of their cars actually started the race when the race started.
One of the cars came into the pit, I think it was Jem Mardenborough's car, and one of the doors was completely open. Now, whether it was open because he had fumes in the car or something, or he simply couldn't reach it because he strapped in to close it, and they had to pit to close it. But those are the sort of things that can cost you places in a race like this. Even though it's a 24-hour race, even minute like that can make a huge difference. It's a wonderful thing.
It's a great event, and I think that the remaining, 21 hours or so that we've got to go, if the competition between Audi and Porsche at the front carries on like it has been for the last couple of hours, this is going to be an absolute treat. The Audis are quicker than I thought they were going to be, and I heard a little tip last night that an Audi 123 is considered by a lot of people in the know to be really quite a likely event. I don't really want to hear that, to be honest.
Yeah. But if you're Audi, if you could do that, you'd go, you come here with your Porsches, you come here with your innovative front-wheel drive, front-engine cars, but we know how to win this race, and that's good. There's a benchmark there. They've all got a target to hit. Let's hope that we get a dramatic race. It doesn't matter who wins as long as it's close at the end.
Absolutely. I think I'd be happy for any of the P1 contenders to win this race, to be honest. I wouldn't object to any of them winning.
But Stevie, you're still hoping for a Nissan.
I think they're winning at the moment, actually.
When I was at Le Mans, lots of people went in $1 million Bentleys, slept in $50 tents.
As another Corvette blasts its way past us here in the technical review of the Le Mans 24 Hours 2015. We are now 6 hours into the 24-hour race, and to be honest, Zog and I have barely moved from our position here. We've really enjoyed watching the whole thing so far. The great joy of being in a Tribune at this position is that you get to see the cars for a long period of time. There's a Toyota going past at the moment. There it goes. We get to see the cars through the Dunlop Bridge, through the right-hander, swing left, having to just come off the throttle here, clip the curbs. That's one of the oak cars, and off into Tetra Rouge. So I reckon we're seeing the cars at this point here for what must be about 12 or 15 seconds. It's wonderful to be able to do that. Stevie has been off wandering around. This is his first Le Mans, so he's all over the place. He's been up against the fence, listening to the cars. Enjoying it, Stevie?
I'm falling in love with it more and more as the time goes on. I started off liking it, but as the race progresses and I start to understand what's happening, I'm becoming more and more emotionally attached.
Yeah. Oh, it's an emotional thing.
It is
If you're not crying at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, you haven't watched the race.
I'm on the verge of tears now. I mean, I've only been here about 5 hours. I don't really know what's going on, either on the track or in my heart.
Yeah. I think the two things are probably completely interlinked.
I think so.
It is difficult to follow if you're not paying full attention to what you're getting over the commentary, or you're not looking at a screen. All you can rely on is the cars with the lights on the side to know who's leading, but that keeps changing as they pit, of course.
It does. As I said to you before, I'm starting to recognise little groups of cars.
Yep.
So I'm waiting for them to come around and watching the gaps between them change.
Yeah.
And then one of them disappears. I'm like, what happened to my Corvette? Where did he go? And then he comes back.
Your
later.
Corvette.
My Corvette.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your Corvette.
Yes.
So you've got the Corvettes and you've got the Nissans. They're your cars, aren't they?
Yeah. I'm developing attachments to cars I didn't expect to become attached.
Well, you made a great observation a few minutes ago. That we've always admired Corvettes. We've always thought they're great cars. But when you see them taking the race to an Aston Martin and a Ferrari and making those other two marks work for the honours, it shows you what a good car that Corvette is.
Absolutely. I always thought they look lovely, they make a great noise out on the street, but I never really took them seriously. They were never real sports cars in the way that an Aston Martin or Ferrari is. And I'm
Now you know otherwise.
They are, that's right, they are. They're racing them.
Yeah.
And it's opened my eyes,
Yeah.
which is wonderful. I love to be surprised like that.
I'm pleased to see the Viper in there as well, because many years ago we used to have the first generation of Vipers racing here, and they made a wonderful sound and they looked right. They looked like they were designed in the 1960s. The new Vipers don't look as elegant, I don't think, as the old cars. They've lost a bit of drama. But it's good that they're up there and vying for American honours, if you like, with the Corvette.
Absolutely. I simply expected the American cars to be big and loud and leery.
And thirsty.
And thirsty. And they are. But they're also beautiful and they are competitive, which I honestly didn't expect. I'm surprised by so much of what I'm seeing here.
Zog, how are you feeling about your Porsches?
Well, I'm not as confident they're going to win as I was a couple of days ago. But if the battle between the Audis and the Porsches carries on, like it has been, and we're not really seeing any signs of fragility yet, so I think it's likely to be incidents rather than fragility, probably, that's going to make a big difference. Other than that, I can see, Audi and Porsche just trading the lead.
That's what's been happening
all the way through the race. It's going to be very close.
And then they've got a very different approach, each of the cars. The Audi seem to be able to quadruple stint their tyres because of the torque characteristics of a diesel engine. Whereas the Porsche, which is a lot more revvy, can only triple stint the tyres, it seems, at the moment.
Are you sure they haven't done any quadruple stints on the Porsche?
Not on the Porsches, I don't think. No. I think they've been every three fill-ups.
The speed they're making up.
Yeah. And in endurance racing, that sort of level of efficiency, maximising everything, that's what could make the difference.
I'm really happy to see that the GT battle is so good as well. To be honest, although the LMP2 competition is terrific, I just can't get as interested in the P2 cars as the P1. They just seem a little bit too much like, the little brothers of the P1 cars. So I kind of mentally skip over P2,
Yeah.
and then GT is the next thing that I'm interested in. And that Corvette Aston Martin battle, just terrific. I'm backing the Aston Martins, but I do love the Corvettes, and I really wouldn't mind who comes out on top.
Truth is, we love all the cars out there.
We do.
Every single one.
I'm going somewhere I went last year. Motor racing, lots of beer. We all get messed up, don't know where we are. 50,000 Brits lost in classic Jaguar.
We've finally been persuaded to move from our very comfortable position at Tetre Rouge. We haven't come that far, but we've wandered towards the village where all the trade stands are, the enormous Nissan Nismo facility that they have here at the moment. But we haven't just come to see the trade stands, we've come to see some friends, like Richard Porter. Hello, Richard.
Hello.
How are things in your ivory tower?
A lot of ivory. I tried to think how many elephants died to enable me to have a glass of cold beer at the expense of somebody else. So, yes, what a dreadful I am. But I can't lie, it's been delightful.
I'm sure it has.
It's been a beautiful day.
It's been a very warm day, actually. Very good.
There's been some good on-track action. So really can't complain.
It's a motor race. It's a proper motor race.
It's a motor race, but a motor race like no other.
Apart from that other Le Mans 24 Hours that they also run.
There's a Le Mans just outside Ipswich.
That one, yeah. It's very like this, isn't it, there?
Yeah, the course is incredibly short, so they all do over 1,000 laps. So its other name is the Millane Ipswich, and it's not really taken off. I think it was won last year by just some bloke in a Mondeo.
From Ipswich.
Yeah, ST24, but a Mondeo nonetheless. So I prefer this one.
Well, this one has a bit more international appeal to it, because when you go to Ipswich, you don't really get people from outside of Ipswich at the Ipswich 24 Hours.
I don't know. I think Ipswich is the city of culture. By which I mean that someone in Ipswich has a painting. If you're in Ipswich, I do apologise for my anti-Ipswich sentiments.
So you're travelling with the Audis this year?
Yes.
Are the Audis happy?
Yeah, I think they are. I can't really speak for the Audi Corporation of Germany since I'm merely a freeloader on their dollar. You'll notice, look, I'm wearing an Aston Martin wristband as well.
Covering your bases?
Because I went to see a chap I know who works at Aston Martin. Well, I texted him and said, are you here? And he said, yeah, do you want to come over? And then he got me into their hospitality, but I had to go up to the reception desk and they said, we'll give you this wristband. And I said, oh, I'm so sorry, I've already got this Audi wristband on. And the lady very sweetly just went, would you like me to get you some scissors? And I would have said yes, but I need this second Audi wristband to get into the place where I'm staying, otherwise I'll be sleeping in a pile of dirt tonight.
You're in the Audi Hotel thing. Is it a hotel? What is it?
Well, they call it a hotel. It's an exhibition centre in which they build cubicles, rows and rows of cubicles. I'm in room 1011.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
It's not sequential. I'm like in the B-list hotel. There's a posher one at the front. And there are hundreds, possibly thousands of rooms, and a lot of the very, very important people from Audi stay there. Somebody was telling me that last time they stayed there, they came out of the shower and bumped into Ferdinand Piëch in his dressing gown, brushing his teeth. So everybody mucks in, and it's nice. It's like an exceedingly posh prison. Because you get this tiny cubicle, it's just big enough for a bed and then about the same width of the bed again, so you can stand up, and there's a little pull cord from the ceiling that just turns on a light, but it's warm, it's dry, and there's a shower cubicle block thing at the end of the building. So
you know where we're sleeping tonight? Our campsite is some 20 minutes away, Zog says. I think that probably means 20 miles, and I haven't been to our campsite yet, but you know that Zog didn't make the start of the race.
Yeah, I know.
He was locked in out there.
Yeah,
Oh.
It's mental. The traffic outside I gather has been insane, but also I think the human traffic inside, when I was trying to get around from the main entrance and sort of walk down the front of the ACO building and get around there, and a 500-yard journey took about 15 minutes because so many people.
Chocker.
Yeah, chocker, which is great.
We want people to support Hours Pt1, don't we? Yeah.
This is an event at its peak because there are so many people here. It's such a disparate band of people. You see some people and you think, what are you doing here? But they've paid for a ticket or something because here they are. God bless all who serve them.
I've noticed a number of pretty girls in pretty dresses this year. Americans call them pumps, don't they? They're not what we call pumps. High-heeled shoes.
Do Americans call those pumps?
You ask your wife, they call them pumps.
Oh, I'll call her in a minute. I FaceTimed my little boy, who's 15 months, just to say goodnight. And the screen came on, he saw my face. He did that thing that melts every dad's heart, where he immediately just started smiling. He was so cheery, because we like watching the Formula One together. Yeah, and it's never too early to start them on the cult of motorsport. So I turned the phone around so that he could see the cars going around, but I was right by the track and it was very noisy. When I turned the screen back, his face was just on the cusp of tears. I was like, oh, it's a bit much, a bit intense. We'll stick to a sort of mid-volume F1 race, and then I'll build him up to this, because it was, one of the Ferraris, maybe a vet going past.
He's not ready for a Corvette.
It jangled his little brain, bless him, but one day.
Corvettes sound good this year. The Viper sounds good.
Viper sounds great. Slightly misfiery, but in a nice lumpy way. Yeah. I can't understand, have you noticed this, that one of the Corvettes is very mucky and the other one isn't? Like it's got a really dirty arse, like its exhaust is kicking out a lot of soot, which I don't know, maybe that's the case, but if you look, when they go by, we're standing here now where you can see a good view of them just turning around to disappear off at the hill.
We'll have a couple coming by.
Have a shifty.
We're standing.
You will see one is mucky and one isn't.
We're standing just south, I think, of the Dunlop Bridge, so they're coming up the start-finish straight. LMP2 cars at the moment, and it's quite a gradient there. I've walked up that hill. That's quite a steep old push.
Yeah.
And they come flying up there. Hang on, let's see if we can hear a Corvette. Then we'll see the next one, or hear the next one. Stand by.
L'histoire des 24 heures du Mans, que ce soit en tant que pilote, mécanicienne, ingénieur, commissaire, médecin, attaché de presse, speaker.
How much you love the French commentary, by the way. Oh, here we go.
Avec le public féminin de l'endurance.
That was the 64.
Yeah, the clean one. That's the clean one. Now watch when, anytime now.
We're waiting. Oh, here goes one of the GTRs. Smoking all over the place, into the gravel and going again.
Can we get a whiff of what does that smell like? Is that
it's the smell of Ben Bulby.
Bob Bulbous burning with disappointment.
Oh, they're doing well. They're still running 6 hours.
They are still running, which, let's be honest, we didn't think was necessarily going to happen. Oh, it's quite a pungent smell. But let's be charitable. This is their first time out with this car. We're not expecting them to be jockeying up the front.
Well, they've already done better than the Delta Wing and the Zeod did last year.
They've already done better than that disastrous Aston Martin LMP1 car.
Oh, that was awful. Hang on, where's the other Corvettes? Come on, other Corvette, make a noise for us.
They were running quite close. I think one of them's pitted. There we go. Viper!
No, none of those. Viper, There's Jan Mardenborough's GTR going by. I think the other Corvette may have stopped. We'll have to find out. It could be in the pit. We could be here all week. Stand by, Richard.
Sniff Petrol with Gareth Jones on speed!
24 hours racing sounds alright. 24 hours racing, gonna stay awake all night.
You watch X-Car, you'll know Alex Goy. We've got him on Speed. Hi, man, how are you?
I'm good, and I'm happy.
And who are you backing for the win?
I just said to Zog, I will place a shiny €5 note on Porsche.
You reckon?
Yeah,
you reckon they
so.
could do it?
Yeah.
It's all down to reliability, though. They've got the pace.
They definitely have the pace.
Yeah.
I reckon they could, and you know what? It would warm the cockles if they managed it.
It would be good for the sport if it wasn't an Audi win. I have no problem with Audi winning. They deserve it if they're the best team. But if Porsche do it, it's good for us all.
It would what, their 17th overall win since 1951?
I think you're right, yes.
That would be nice, because I came here last year and I was backing them very openly. I'd done my reading, I'd spoken to other people, like, yeah, it'd be amazing for Porsche to come back. And I managed to get a couple of words to some of the drivers. Brendan Hartley. He is the loveliest man, and he was super stoked just to be here. He's like, everything's amazing. I love this is brilliant. And I was gutted when the cars went out. It was awful because you could see in everyone's face, like, oh, it's so close, it's so far. This time, though, they set a record in qualifying.
Yeah.
They're doing crazy pace.
He has some of the fastest laps, Brendan Hartley.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's beaten his lap yet, have they?
I know. I'll pass on that one.
You lose track. It's easy to lose track, isn't it? Yeah.
So there's a lot going on.
This is what, your third or fourth Le Mans now?
This is my third.
Your third. I remember your first.
I remember my first as well, because I remember there's somewhere deep in the X-Car archives of you and I having a slow-mo hug.
I haven't seen that.
Me either. I was shown it once and then it kind of vanished into a big hard drive, and somewhere in our office there's a hug floating around.
I remember your eyes. I remember seeing you in that hospitality unit. You came in with eyes like the kids in South Park, the kindergarten kids, whose heads are basically mostly eye.
Yes, I was mostly eye. I think at that point about 1,000 beers in.
Good. That's about right for that point in the evening.
Yeah, it's the noise, the atmosphere here is massive.
Good, isn't it?
It's Glastonbury, but for cars.
Yeah. And with no unpleasant toilet action.
As far as I've experienced, yes. There's always a first time, Jones.
Let's hope it's not this one.
Who are you backing for the win?
Well, I love Hulk. I've been a Hulk fan since he stormed A1GP.
Yep.
And I would really like to see him do it, because I think he deserves better than he's getting in Formula One at the moment. I have no emotional connection to the Audis anymore. I love what they do as a team, but there are no drivers in there that I care passionately about. But there are two Porsches I'm interested in. Hulk's in one of them. Giuliani is the other one in the other Porsche. Neil won A1GP, and he was a good mate of mine in the A1 days. It becomes personal, doesn't it?
He's very quick. Yeah. He's very calculating.
Yeah.
If you talk to him, he's like, yeah, so I do this, and I do that, and I do it very well, thank you very much. It's like, okay, Mr. Gianni, thank you very much, bye. Now, I'm really hoping for a Porsche win. I think they deserve it. They've been kicking ass this year, from what I've seen.
Yeah, they are. They really are, with their little V4.
Their little V4.
Outrageous.
And their enormous battery.
Yeah.
Flywheel, or whatever the megajoules they're running, or however that worked. Someone tried to explain it to me once, I went cross-eyed. This is my third time, as I said earlier. The ones I still find dislike is the Ferraris.
You dislike them?
I can't stand them.
Why?
And it's a beautiful car, the drivers... talented people,
yes.
They deserve to be here.
Yes.
But if you hear them on a straight, there's something about the sound that hits a register in my head. It just bores in and it hurts.
It hurts you.
I hate it.
Maybe that's why I like them, because I'm so old and deaf. I don't hear anything apart from the Ferraris, the Toyotas, and the Corvettes.
The Corvettes.
The only frequencies I've got left.
The Corvettes are,
as always,
they're filthy, and I like it.
Naughty.
Another favourite of mine is the KCMG car. They qualified on pole. Their team is awesome. They're really nice guys. Last year, I don't think they did so well. This year, I really hope they take an MP2. I really do.
But the thing about Le Mans is, whoever wins, you don't mind, because they deserve the win. To win this race is ridiculously hard.
You know what? To get here is ridiculously hard.
Let me tell you.
You've had like the journey from hell to get here, but you made it.
Yes.
I think I owe you a beer. Yes. I said I owed you a beer.
I've got a plan. Let's have it now.
Yeah!
Gareth Jones on speed.
That's a good position at the moment. Oh, it is difficult to manage the traffic in the night and in the dark, as you know. It's not too difficult when you are leading and you have to push all the time. It's not easy.
It is 1:45 in the morning at the Le Mans 24 Hours, and we've come down to one of our favourite things, as you know. We like food, and you can probably guess from the noise and the reverb that we're on the start-finish straight, standing right by the line at the moment. I was just recounting a story to Stevie how Zog and I stood at this very point at the start-finish straight on the start-finish line when Peugeot won here. Great French victory, and the entire populace sang Le Marseillaise, and even I was proud to be French that day. Cried my eyes out. But it's all about the sound here, because you get the reverb from these grandstands on either side. That was the Rebellion and the Bicolis car, by the way. Here comes a GT Am. That was an Aston, a Porsche, one of the LMP1s, Ferrari. What's this? Here we go. One of the Nissan powered LMP2s. Zog's taking pictures at the moment of the start-finish straight, which I will probably try and get Zog to publish somewhere, and I'll send you a link on the Gareth Jones TV website where you can see those pictures if we don't publish them there. Where's Stevie gone? We're having the best time because we've got Stevie with us. Never done Le Mans before. Stevie is as excited as a 9-year-old, and that level of excitement is rubbing off on us too as well. We are tickled, but we've lost him. He's vanished. Never mind, we got the sound of cars to enjoy. Here's some more car sounds. I'll stay quiet for a bit. That last one was one of the GTR Nissans. Very muted, not as raspy as they were earlier on. I wonder if they've turned them down. Well, I suppose I ought to wish you good night, really. Better find Stevie and get some sleep. I will leave you with a couple of minutes of the epic sound of the world's greatest endurance cars racing at the greatest circuit in the world. I know I say that a lot, but it is true. And if you haven't been here, you won't understand why I say that, and I strongly recommend you come next year. Our coverage of the 2015 Le Mans 24 Hours continues in Gareth Jones on Speed, episode 252, which is published 24 hours after this one. But for the moment, we'll leave you with the sound of the cars. Good night. Stevie, put the Corvette down and step away from the fence.
to send us an email, see pictures, get song lyrics, join our Facebook fan site, follow us on Twitter, or to find out about sponsorship opportunities, go to garethjones.tv. Gareth Jones on Speed is made in London by Whiz Bang.
Gareth Jones on Speed!